Alex Pereira versus Jan Blachowicz just took place last night in the co-main event of UFC 291, Poirier versus Gaethje 2. And before we say anything, what a shit fight on this card that happened, because the whole main card was so fun. This one kind of stinked it up with it. Let's be real, because Lewis got a good win, Green got a good win, Holland got a good win. It was just... It kind of stunk it up a little bit, but we all want to know who I think won. Yeah, I think Alex Pereira did win this fight, man. I think I had this opinion right after I watched it. I was like, Pereira won this. It's either that this is the UFC's choice if they want to ruin Pereira's career. And they didn't. And they didn't for a good reason, man. And Derek, clearly, I might be thinking of another fight, but I want to know who scored this fight, because UFC 291 score card. I'm going to look at this fight. So, official Pereira versus Jan Blachowicz scorecard. Who scored it? Derek clearly, for the first time in my whole world, first time ever, scored the fight for Pereira. First fight, only one, June Camijo scored it for Jan Blachowicz. How did he win the third? It was a very close round. I'm not going to say clear Pereira. Very close round. And I get it. Some people will look at, it's even on the feet. But Blachowicz got the takedown. If Blachowicz just... I get he was gassed. Altitude. Blachowicz probably would have won an altitude, not if it was an altitude. But I'm going to be real, I think Pereira would have probably KO'd him. Because Pereira looked super slow and sloppy. Same with Blachowicz. They both looked terrible. But it was an altitude, so I think if this was somewhere else... Man, never accept a fight in altitude. Other than if you're, training at elevation like Gaethje and Usman, do not... even Poirier was starting to slow down before the head kick KO. You know? You can see it in him. He's like, ugh. Done it again to me a little bit. But yeah, I think Pereira won this. I'm going to be real. I think Pereira did win this fight. I think he was a better fighter here. Yeah, round 1 was close. No, it wasn't close. Round 2 was... No. What the fuck? Round 3 was close. That was the round it came down to. Round 1 was Jan Blachowicz. Took down Pereira. I was scared. But Pereira early on was doing good. But I think eventually Blachowicz got good grip. Took him down. Nearly had choke attempts. It wasn't a 10-8. Blachowicz didn't do enough damage at all to even have it a 10-8. But he did win the round 10-9 dominantly. It's like Glover against Jan early on in their fight. You know, Glover took him down, had a good round at the back. Yeah, and Blachowicz won round 1. Round 2, Blachowicz was looking good early on. But again, he wasn't doing enough damage. Not enough damage. Only part he really did was round 3 with the hooks here and there. That's the only part. You know, he just didn't do enough. Alright? And Pereira had a good ending, starting to beat up Jan Blachowicz. And I think, to be honest, if that was an altitude, Pereira he would have gotten a third round TKO. If that was an altitude, but he was starting to slow down too. And it came down to that third round. Alright, Pereira won the second clear. Jan Blachowicz won the first round clear. Third round, it came down to the wire. And I'm going to make my argument for Pereira here. I'm a huge Pereira fan. I'm not biased at all. If I was truthful here, I would say Blachowicz would have won. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not that type of guy where it's like, you know, like for example, I'm a huge fan of Alex Pereira. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of I'm a huge fan of Charles Oliveira. I'm picking Makhachev to beat him in the rematch. And I'm not a fan of Makhachev. I'm a huge fan of Oliveira. I hope he destroys Makhachev, but I'm going to pick Makhachev. You know, in the rematch. You know? So I'm always truthful on this. Pereira outlanded him. Outlanded Blachowicz. Both guys arguably landed better shots, but Pereira was landing good jabs to the body. Both guys were kind of even on, what's it called? Both guys were kind of even on big shots, just big shots in that round, but I think Pereira slightly had it, and Pereira massively outlanded him. And Blachowicz got one takedown. If Blachowicz, man, I think he's going to look back on this and fucking... Like, I think, yeah, he says he won the fight, but I think he knows deep down... I think he knows deep down he could have done more. But it was the fucking dumb bitch altitude. Why did they go there? It makes it so much worse. The altitude was not bad for this card than the last card. Last card was terrible. But this card, this card was not as bad, but it still affected some people. But, good stuff. Anyways, from both guys. But Blachowicz, I think, will look at... maybe he'll think he won. And everyone will think they... Of course, in a close decision, they always are going to think they won the fight, most of the time anyways. But I think you got to give it to Pereira. He outlanded him, arguably landed the better shots, and Blachowicz got one takedown. Should have landed shots, and he would have won. And it would have been such a different conversation here, but I think Pereira got the second and third. Very, very close fight. If it went to Blachowicz, there's an argument for him, but I would have said Pereira landed the better shots in the feet. Blachowicz got one takedown. Damage over control. Pereira wins, and we're going to have to talk about what's next here. I think it's got to be Prochazka versus Pereira at the end of the year, December. I don't think McGregor's going to come back at all, because he keeps switching his mind. So I think it'll be McGregor in January, and then they do... in December, Pereira versus Prochazka. Main event, vacant title fight. And this is awesome, man. Pereira, this is one step closer to an Izzy trilogy. That potentially could happen. I always say potentially. It's potentially. It can potentially happen. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff. That's one step closer to a potential Izzy fight. And yeah, Pereira won. Does he beat Yuri? I might make a prediction video later this week for it, but I don't know who wins that, to be honest, because I know Alex look bad here. But Yuri always charges in, and he won't shoot takedowns. But this could work for him if he goes in. Because Pereira looks so sloppy out there, man. But I think this was the worst Pereira that we were going to see. And I think that the next one he's going to look really good in. So I will go for Alex Pereira. But if Yuri goes in there with an offensive game plan, he's going to win the fight. Because Yuri is strong. But I don't know. Pereira seems stronger at light heavyweight. And he's training with Glover, who went, let's be real, 25 minutes with Yuri Prochazka. Except the ending where he got subbed. Oh well. So I think Pereira is going to beat him. But we'll see. We'll find out then. But I think Pereira won this fight, man. I think he did. I really think he did. I think Blachowicz showed up, though. Sucks for Blachowicz, by the way. Because I know his career, you can say his career's done, but he can easily come back. If he just did a little bit more in the third, he would have won. That's it, he won. Blachowicz gets the title shot, and we're talking about Blachowicz, and we're talking about Pereira, and on the other receiving end. Could have been a way different conversation, but Blachowicz should just do enough, in my opinion. And Pereira kept jabbing to the body. I hope Blachowicz check kicks, but checking kicks shouldn't count as points. It should just not count as anything. Let's be real. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, I think Pereira won this fight, and Derek clearly got it right for once. So good for him. That's one step too close. He's gonna have to make up for the other 99 ones that he got wrong. But yeah, good stuff from Pereira. Shit fight overall. Wasn't too action packed, but Pereira, I picked him to win by KO. Yeah, the altitude's too much. I think he would have won it in the third. If this wasn't, let's say, like MSG or somewhere else, Pereira would have won by third round KO. I swear to God he would have. because nothing was holding him back other than cardio, which held back his power. So, yeah, good stuff from Pereira. Shit fight overall. But he won, and I think he will become a champ. Although he does have those matches where it is tough for him, like an Ankalaev, Krylov, because Krylov's a bitch. He's a real fucking good fighter. Krylov, that is, and Ankalaev. They're both really, 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 really good. Yeah, I can see one of them becoming a champ. I think Krylov will get the belt. Hot fucking take. I think late next year we're gonna see Krylov become the new light heavyweight champion. I bet you we're gonna see that. I bet you. But yeah, we're not gonna talk about him now because he's dull as hell. Yeah, good stuff from Pereira. He won. Him versus Yuri next. I wouldn't have minded Jan Yuri. In Europe, but I'd say do Jan versus someone else in Europe. I think you should do UFC Fight Night in December. Let's do that. UFC Fight Night December. You do Jan Blachowicz versus, I think they're going to do Ankalaev Rakic. I think they're going to do Krylov Walker 2 in Sao Paulo. That's what I think. So I think you're going to see UFC Fight Night December, Fight Night Warsaw, Poland. You do Jan Blachowicz. You do Mateusz Gamrot. You do Mateusz Gamrot versus... Shit, he's probably gonna get KO'd by Fiziev. No, let's not do it in December. Fuck that. Let's do it in February instead. So Gamrot's recovered. Gamrot, 5-month recovery. Good for him. Alright. He gets TKO'd by Fiziev, let's say. And then we do UFC Fight Night Warsaw, Poland. You do co-main event. You put just fighters on the card. Like they go to UK sometimes. Put like UK guys on the card. Like you do Chris Duncan versus someone, Mark Chikadze, someone. You do that, and then you do maybe Mick Parkin on the card as well. Who knows? But then you do that, all those fights, and then the co-main event you do Mateusz Gamrot, let's say, versus. I think he's gonna lose to Fiziev, so I'm just gonna predict this. You do Gamrot versus. Fuck. Oh, I don't even know. Jalen. No, you already beat Turner. Fuck. What are you doing against? I don't know. Dan Hooker, let's just say. You do him Dan Hooker. Let's say. Hooker's coming off a few wins. Gamrot's coming off a loss. And then you do him. And then you do main event. Jan Blachowicz. Hear this out. Hear me out here. Jan Blachowicz. Fuck. I don't even know. Who? Fuck, I'm clicking random shit now. Jan Blachowicz versus. So you do maybe Hill? Jamal Hill? But you'll get a title fight when he comes back. Fuck. I don't know. But I'd say do Ankalaev Rakic, Krylov versus Walker 2. Then you do the winner of Anthony Smith. That's in a month though. If Azamat Mirzakhanov wins, you do Azamat Mirzakhanov, Jan Blachowicz. Sorry, Jan. But that's the best we can do. Like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Shitty fight overall, but Pereira won. I think Pereira won. Yeah, peace.